Alright guys, today I'm just going to make a short little video on how to do meta arbitration farms. As you can see here, I have 4,000 Vitus Essence, and yeah, I'm just going to teach y'all how to do it. So to start off, you're going to want to decide on what role you're going to take in the arbitration farm in your group. Whether you're doing it with randoms or friends, it doesn't really matter, but you definitely want to decide who's going to be a DPS and who's going to be a support. So to start off with DPS, favorite one to use is Mirage. This is also my main character in the game, my main Warframe. So all you really need on any of your mains, mostly Saren, Chroma, and Mirage are the main ones you're going to use. You're always going to want to use Energized Munitions for their 4th ability. The reason is because the weapon that you're going to be using will be the Ogress. I'll get to that in a second though. You're also going to want at least 3 of these ability strength shards. They don't have to be Tau Forge, but if they are, obviously it helps a lot. In my case, I use 4 of them, and I always usually use a Violet for the built-in equilibrium. As far as mods go, you don't have to use the exact same ones as me. All of these have their purpose, and if you don't know anything about Total Eclipse on Mirage specifically, this also helps out her Hall of Mirrors to do more damage, because they count as allies also, so it scales with those. But again, you don't have to copy this exact same build. If you want to use something a little bit different, you can. The only real reason why it is just strength and duration is because that's pretty much all you need as a damage dealer. You don't really need anything else. Alright, now for the support side of things. Pretty much the same thing with the Archon shards. You're going to want a lot of strength. You're going to want Nourish on at least one of your supports, whether it be Rhino or Wisp, it doesn't matter. You don't need both of them to have it. So your Wisp is going to have the moats, you're going to have Vitality moat and Haste moat. And as for Nourish, this is pretty much only because it does give you a energy multiplier. And lastly, same thing with Rhino, you're pretty much just going to build this guy for as much strength as you possibly can. The only real thing that you're going to be using on him is his Roar. The reason for this is because his Roar is a multiplicative damage. It does what we call faction damage. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Rhino. And lastly, we're going to talk about the weapons for both damage and also support. Kuva Ogress, you do not have to use the Kuva version, you can use the regular version of it. Like I said, you don't have to use every single thing on the build. The only one I would suggest having is Nightwatch Napalm. This is one of the best mods for this weapon. So I do not have the Aphentis, but if those of you that do have the Aphentis, that is the main weapon that you're going to be using for your support characters like Wisp and Rhino. All you have to do is just throw it on the ground and it will provide your team with ammunition. Alright guys, and for the last part, you're going to want to go to any relay and you're going to want to get a resource drop chance blessing. The reason for this is because it's going to boost the drop chance of Vitus Essence from killing drones, and also use this in tandem with a resource booster to then get 2 times Vitus Essence every time it drops. And if you have a pet, you could use a Smita. Personally, I will chase a Kubro, but Resourceful Retriever is a must-have in order to get more Vitus. Also remember that if you were launching an arbitration from a relay, you can actually do the arbitration twice, as long as the arbitration does not go over the time that is left. So for instance, this one has 44 minutes. If you were to leave this arbitration after, let's say there's about 10 minutes left before the time ends, and you go back to the relay, you can launch the same exact mission again. You can